And welcome everyone to another episode of Humanity 2.0 podcast, where we are talking to humans about humanity. Imagine that. Today's guest is Nicholas Ruklevich. Did I get it right? 10 out of 10. And he's the founder of NPR. How about that? Please tell everyone why you are the founder of NPR.
Well, I'm founder of an NPR nerd because my name is Nicholas Peter Ruklevich, so NPR for short. So I'll take it. At least I'm well known and famous.
That is like the best initials anyone could ever ask for. Seriously. Now you
It'll make me
are.
easily searchable. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no. You're right. It does. Well, now I'm gonna Google that now and see if how many search results come up under yourself. But that is a huge brand opportunity there. You are a trauma and brain injury survivor. You are a mental
Yes,
health
ma'am.
advocate, avid tabletop gamer, and you utilize role playing games for recovery. How cool is that?
Thank you. My nerd street cred's pretty high.
Yeah, I bet it is. I bet it is. I bet if I go into any like shop, they'll be like, "Whoa, you talk to Nicholas? No freaking way!" Wow. So I'm honored to have you. I'm not a gamer, but I appreciate those that are,
It's okay.
especially if you're using it toward recovery. That's freaking cool. So,
Thank
how's your
you.
day been today?
My day has been okay. I've and just been through worse, so just trying to fake it till we make it. So
Yes. Yes. I think that's a good way to look at it. If you've been through worse and you're still here, then A, there's a reason, and B, that's freaking rad that you're still here because you're indestructible, I think.
thank you. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Now, are you a good human and why?
I am a good human. I've always at least believed I'm a good human. I am a good human because I just want to make things a little bit better each day. I have been through a lot. We've all had our own journeys, but I always say one of my sayings I have now is just do the next right thing. And I try to do what's best for me and for others as I'm moving forward. And I believe that is a butterfly effect. It helps branch out to others and find hope in it.
Why do you think you do good things? Like why do you think you feel called to do good things for others or to help people in general?
Um, the world's hard enough. I don't have growing up, I didn't have a lot of self-esteem. I didn't have a lot of self-value and self-worth. So when I get to help others and help do kind things, it helps me show validity about why I'm here, where I'm here, etc. So just trying to go about the world, making it a little bit better each day, and not I also look at myself, I look at the situation in a third person.
Mhm.
How do I want to make this better? How would I be approach the situation? What can I do to help make it better? And it's one of the no reason why I did gift of perspective. We'll talk about my trauma, blah blah. But I see things very differently. So I don't have blinders on anymore in my life. I see everything. So I try to see what I can do to help out in each case, make it a little bit better through that perspective.
Not having blinders can be a lot because you're not like everyone else in that you're absorbing a concentrated amount. You're absorbing everything, quite literally. So is that overwhelming at times? And how do you become underwhelmed? How do you manage that and become, stable from that?
It can be. It is overwhelming at times. I don't really have an answer about how to make it through it. I mean, I'm fortunate enough. I do have a therapist that I speak with, and I talk about my struggles, and it does get overwhelming. But I've had to accept I can't fix everything. The world would run a lot better if you just let me run it. I always say, but the only thing we can control is our own actions. And one of the things I said to someone, control is one of the biggest lies we learn about. But the only thing we can control is how we approach situation and what do we do. And I always try to hold myself accountable because at the end of the day, I have to look at myself in the mirror and be proud. I have to be proud. I try to be proud of how did I handle this? You know, how did I navigate this? How did that make me feel? And how did they feel? And
Mm.
putting myself in their shoes, looking at myself, I always want to feel okay. I always want to feel accepted. It's my own self worth. So I always want to make sure others feel that same sense of purpose and just thankfulness of what they're doing.
Yeah, that's really great that you consider other people and you are very thoughtful of other people and wanting to help them. And, even though your initial position wasn't quite the same, helping those people to be in a better place. Like, that's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
When you think about people you've met over your lifetime, you meet a lot of people, a lot of humans. Can you think of one human, whether they're familiar or a stranger, that just kind of touched you inside, where you still remember that memory of how they, touched your soul and what they said and how it made you feel?
The the answer is yes. I mean, I know so many, the hospital, the therapists that helped me be where I am today have meant so much to me. Their little acts of kindness, them helping me recover through difficult situations has helped me. I'm friends with an international musician, and she's like the kindest person in the world, and she sent me wonderful encouragement. And again, people can be consumed about the world around us, and when they take that time just to thank others or show others a brighter way forward, it helps us all.
Can you tell us a little bit about what had happened to you that caused the injuries?
Nobody really knows what happened. I was in a single vehicle motorcycle crash March 15th, 2016, so almost 10 years on the Ides of March in Brain Injury Awareness Month, so double jeopardy. Nobody really knows what happened. I impacted a wall. I separated my pelvic circle. I broke my sacroiliac. I crushed my left orbital. I had a massive concussion, right side brain bleed, subdermal hematoma. So I was never unconscious, never in a coma. My body laid there roughly 4 hours, and I was taken to the trauma unit. They found me, and long recovery, lots of surgeries, and I don't want to
Sure.
digress
Yeah.
all the stuff,
Right.
but it's so that's what led me to kind of pursue this path of trying to help stand out and help, talk to others, other trauma survivors and other people that, are going through something, is feeling alone. Every brain injury is different. For me, it was a black hole. It was being surrounded in darkness and not knowing where it was, getting out of it and trying to reach through it, try to control the darkness and trip
Mhm.
it up and just try to move through it was a very hard journey. I mean, for me, it was 12 days I lost in my life. I was never unconscious.
Mhm.
I was never in a coma, but I wasn't cognizant. So even though people would respond to me, my brain, I
Right.
don't feel was there. So losing one of my greatest assets of problem solving, cognition,
Mhm.
jokey, whatever, is something that still terrifies me today.
Mm. So I know you said you don't remember a whole lot. Do you remember anything during that 4-hour period before you were found?
No,
No?
my brain is completely,
Yeah.
hopefully it's maybe it's a way to protect me. I don't know. So right side, so our brains, right side brain controls left side of body, left side,
Mhm.
right side, left side. A lot of that's your speech, your recognition of, language. Right, I can only speak about my injury. They say brain
Mhm.
injury is the invisible injury. Right side is left side negligence. It's also cognition, it's problem solving, it's compulsivity, it's the way you see. So that's right side brain. We don't know what, you know, my injury was bad, obviously, or I would have, who knows, who knows if I'd be here or not. We don't
Yeah.
know. Uh, but so I have no memory of it.
Right.
And I don't have any memory until roughly 12 days later. But I have I thought I was going through dreams. Like certain things that happened, I
Mhm.
thought it was a dream, but it was just my brain trying to recognize certain familiarities of it. Like I love gothic heavy metal, and I was like, man, this is pretty cool. We're listening to we're at a funeral and they're playing the heavy metal music because my girlfriend would play, not my wife, she would play my heavy metal
Mhm.
station, which would calm me down. So like my brain would recognize certain things as, oh wow, this is cool.
Mhm.
But I have no memory of anything.
Wow. Well, congrats on going from girlfriend to wife. That's awesome.
Yeah,
And
it's been a very fun journey.
yeah, I think you're right. I think your brain is definitely trying to protect you, or that it was, and it still is probably. I've always felt that there are certain things that we cannot remember because our brains are trying to actively protect us. It's things that we don't need to, well, we may need to know later, but we definitely don't need to know now because we can't handle that. So I really think that that's the thing.
It, there's something called I learned about years later, something called body memory.
Uh,
So even though my brain, I don't remember it. Like when I've had some headaches recently, and sometimes I'll start panicking, and it's my body, even though I'm not aware of it, my body was fighting everything. I mean, we're the ones that are choosing to heal, and we're pushing ourselves. So when the pain happened, I don't call it pain anymore. I call it uncomfortable. But when I've had a bad headache, all of a sudden I think my body is panicking because they're fearing what's there. I mean, we can't remember pain. Our bodies can't remember pain. They only fear it, or they have this thing about it, but we can't remember it. It's just we're afraid of it because of what it was like.
so today's society judges things that they don't understand. Big shocker. What do they not understand about trauma and brain injuries that you kind of wish they would?
Well, trauma touches more people than we realize. Trauma is the number one cause of death between 1 and 45. 1 in 17 is guns, but 1 in 45 is trauma's number one cause. It happens to anybody. You could be walking home and then hit by something. You could fall, hurt yourself. It doesn't. It's all the unexpected. Brain injuries are also much more common than we realize. Severe concussions, bleeds, head injuries are they're very prominent in our world and the lives we live. And people can struggle for a long time just through that recovery, that fear of ourselves. I mean, we all abuse ourselves and angry at ourselves, and when your brain is kind of lost or scrambled, it's hard to kind of make ends understand what end is up in it. And I mean, I've met people who I'm now friends with, and I met them through my different mentorship volunteering. That I mean, they've had closed head injuries, and when you hear them speak,
Mhm.
it's difficult to understand them. I can understand them, but they've been thought people think that they are mentally handicapped. No, and so just because you feel someone might not know something, don't assume. Always approach someone, look at them in the eyes and speak to them clearly, because we don't know what's going behind there. And has someone saying something for to me, "Oh, you were really slow then." I was like so angry. I was like, people not realizing that people are trying, and we have to give them the benefit of the doubt and show them the same respect you would want
Mhm.
in all aspects of life.
That is very true. Now, you recently went to Washington to lobby, correct? Can you tell
Yep,
everyone
3 years ago.
can you tell everyone a little bit about that and what you were lobbying for?
So I volunteer with something called Trauma Survivors Network. It's a now international in Canada and Australia, but it's a support group that speaks to other trauma people. I speak tomorrow. I'm actually going into the hospital, speaking to other, people. I'm trained through the hospitals, but we also have a support group. Well, in this organization, we were able to team up with a trauma surgeon lobbying group, and we went there to speak to various representatives from across the country about the importance of having trauma systems, having a support system like this because of how debilitating it is. And I was with 5 other survivors or advocates, and we just went to Pennsylvania and Virginia lawmakers and people from Oregon, Washington, California, middle of nowhere, Nebraska, went to their lobbyists too, or went to their congressional leaders as well, because again, trauma affects so many that it's an unknown entity out there. It's always there, and needing to know, it's there is important.
What do you hope that your lobbying will do? And actually, not even that. I mean, because lobbying is one thing, but then it's another for them to actually produce a bill. Then in the end game, what do you see that would benefit the community, that would benefit all humanity as it pertains to having these programs that could help and also resources? What would that look like for you?
So the resource, I mean, I want people to feel that they are supported and not alone. And mental health is always it's a buzzword, as we were saying. Everything bad, oh, it's a mental health issue. Well, we have to fix it to do it. There's no way to fix it. What there's a way to do is to make it approachable and acceptable for all. I say men are allowed to be only angry, no other emotion, and women are allowed to be every emotion but anger. But it's all BS. We're
Mhm.
all welcome to every one of them, and I speak a lot as an adult male about my emotions because it is we all have them. Doesn't matter, trauma survivor, man, woman, child. We all are allowed the emotions, and respecting them and understanding is important. And the importance of having a I'm very fortunate. I live in outside of DC in Northern Virginia, so I want to use my ability to speak. And
Mhm.
there's a national level, obviously, and stuff, but there's also state and local levels that I'm speaking with my House of Delegates and my state senators too, trying to introduce bills in Virginia and try to help with some of the stigma that comes into the mental health barriers, not just a financial one, but also just making it understand that it is hard and it's
Yeah.
okay to struggle.
Would you say based on the current assembly of government, are you hopeful about, I guess, the bills and the lobbying, like what you're doing? Do you think that it can make a difference and move forward like currently, or do you think it'll take some time?
It'll take a lot of time. I think that I've talked to my United States senator and House representative members recently at an event, and I know they support me, but there's a lot of unfortunately bigger stuff we're trying to fry right now. So I'm going to make sure I speak to my states. And that's the important thing I think people might not know is we have a lot of state delegates that are local people that we can reach, and state senators, obviously House of Delegates, each state's different, but those are the ones we need to reach out to and rally to say. I mean, that's the important thing about the odd years of elections,
Mhm.
because you elect your local people to represent you, and we need to hold them accountable. And the only way to get to a national stage is also to start on a local stage. So I'm very fortunate in so much of my healing and my stuff, but I say it's not a joke, but I'm a straight white male, so I better stand up for it. And I make sure I use my platform to help others in different ways, just so they can feel seen and protected as where they can by, like you say, other humanity.
Can you tell us the why behind the work that you do and then what the work that you do is?
So the why I do this is this is all voluntary. I don't make any financial gain from it. I do this because I don't want others to feel that they are alone in this journey, this world, whatever we have. I mean, we're not alone in this. My trauma taught me one thing, that I wasn't invisible. I used to think nobody saw me. I wasn't there. But when my trauma happened, so many people came out. Some people reached out just checking in and just how much important it was. And that made me realize that it's a hard enough world out there. So I need to make sure that others can kind of see that there is a path forward. There is a option. I mean, male traumatic brain injury survivors are twice as likely to die by suicide than others. So it's very imperative for me to let people know that not only as a brain injury survivor, but as a male, that it's okay to feel not okay. It's okay that you're having these emotions. It doesn't make you weak. It just makes you a human. Understanding that humanity is allowed the vulnerabilities, because we can't be created unless we're vulnerable, as Brene Brown said. So understanding that you're allowed those feelings and those insecurities, because that's the only way we're gonna push forward. A human race, only human beings have only gotten out of the caves and got other stuff because we were feared something. We always knew, and we challenged ourselves through it. Otherwise, we would have not changed. You
Yeah.
need to go through it, and you need to go through it to move, to step forward.
If you could share a message with humanity, any message at all, what would you tell them?
That hope is a free medicine. That's my one of my zingers. Hope is a free medicine, and knowing that there's always someone out there that wants to help, no matter how bleak it looks. Someone wants to help.
I like that very much. Both of those. Very excellent. Good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Where can everyone find you on social, on the internet? Any books, any projects? Tell us everything.
I wish I was a better sales guy. I have a simple link tree that has my different events, different podcasts, different
Hmm.
webinars, link tree, gift of perspective. I have an email, gifts of perspective at Gmail. But my goal is to help have others have the support they need, have an ally, and be able to connect people with potential resources they might not know are out there. I mean, through my conversations with an international band, I met people in Germany or, South America who have been affected by trauma, and I was able to help address ways to find different resources locally or
Hmm.
there. And that's the important thing I have is I don't mind. Again, I'm not invisible anymore, and I want to make sure that knowing that I'm able to do this, I'm going to do this. I keep pushing to do the next right thing because I can do it. And I know that I've been through some of the worst I can imagine, but I know others have it so much harder. So I'm going to make sure that I don't waste a day not being able to try to make it better for someone else.
Yeah. Well, you are doing amazing work in an impossible situation, I guess, like, just like the initial part of it is what I'm referring to. But to come from that and what it feels like, come back even more enlightened and able to help other people, guide them to resources that they definitely need, and to even almost educate other people that are not even in that community. That's a big deal. That is a huge deal. And so you are a good human,
Thank you.
and you have much ahead of you. So yeah, thank you for all that you do and all that you will do, and keep NPR alive.
I'll keep trying. I'll keep doing it. Just keep listening. And the good thing is, I like to talk a lot, so it worked out really well. This NPR.
Yes, me too. But, I mean, if anyone can save NPR, it's you. I know it. Just
Thank
saying.
you.
Yeah, I really enjoyed having you here. I was excited to meet you because I just am fascinated by people who have, life altering experiences and then have life altering messages that are just so needed to be heard, so needing to be heard. Sorry, I'm like very tired right now. But it's amazing. It's inspiring to see, and not like in a, bumper sticker kind of way, but in a very profound humanity type of way. And all the people that listen to you are going to, want to be better humans and do more. And maybe they will go out and lobby. Maybe they'll go out and vote. Maybe they will be inspired to start a group of their own, about another community or another group that isn't getting the attention or the resources that they need. So by being yourself and by doing the work that you do, I really think that you will help people to activate themselves and become activists and supporters for various things. So good on you. I hope you have the best day of your life. And thank you so much for being here. It's been amazing. Nicholas, say your own last name.
Nicholas Ruklevich. And I have to add, Vanessa, you help bring, this program and others doing it, you help bring a voice people might not know because not everybody's willing, maybe able to right now stand up and shout at the thing and raise their hand. But your platform reaches people that you'll never know. And those little bits of help we do, people might remember it, moving forward because of something that you said. So helping create something as a new humanity or whatever the case may be. So thank you for doing this. It gives someone like me and other survivors or other better humans ability to say, hey, we all on this together. Let's help work on it together too.
Amen. I love that. Thank you so much. That made me like shine there. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, come back anytime. Tell me fun stuff all the time. It really is the reason behind why this show exists. I mean, I did a different docu series for a couple years and then pivoted to humanity, mostly because I know that while there are good parts of humanity, there's also parts that are struggling. And right now, with everything being so polarized and people being disconnected and us just going crazy, like if the us from 10 years ago looked at the us now, they'd be like, y'all some crazy people, and back away slowly. But the ability, like you said, to create a platform where people can come and say, their piece, they can express their humanity, they can talk about humanity on another level. and just kind of like meditate on what that means, what the future is, and what it could be, those conversations are life changing for all of us. And so that humanity 2.0 being, thinking with compassion and empathy first and helping each other before, saying, what can you do for me? That's everything. That's the 2.0 that I know we will get to. And I've always been a strong believer that that's where we will be. I mean, you see it every day. Even though there's a lot of negative content out there, there's a lot of positive content out there too. And so the more positive content we can put out, the better that we'll be for it. And, it'll just, it'll spark change because that's, we never stay the same. We change, whether it's good or bad, we change. And hopefully it'll just continue to be for the best.
One of the things I learned through I would say, cliff notes of therapy for over, 16 years, we can only offer each other compassion, acceptance, and forgiveness. And just trying to be, compassionate, for each other, forgiving those that are out there, and just, accepting what we can't control. So I always try to look at it like, are all of them level for me? Like, am I being compassionate? Just trying to make sure I'm walking through the notion of just having to, people are trying their best and giving them the benefit of the doubt and accepting it for where they are, and having compassion for their struggles in it,
Yeah.
and forgiving them of not knowing better.
Yeah. And listening to you speak today, you made me think of something, and it's not really something that I've ever really thought of, but I kind of want to challenge myself, and for everyone else, challenge yourself to do this too. But I have this kind of idea like every day we should do something to either, better someone else's situation or to offer a kind word or to, change someone's perspective. So something that's, changing, whether it's minimal or, extreme, but we should strive to do at least one thing, and then come back to yourself at the end of the day and be like, what did I do today? What did I do today that made a difference for someone? Or what did I do today that changed the course? My friend the other day gave their lunch. They were on a train to work and they gave their whole lunch to a homeless man. That guy had food that day. And then my friend told me about it. And then I actually went and got them lunch and brought it to their workplace because I thought, well, that was a good act of humanity and selflessness. So I think that should be rewarded. And I'm going to bring you lunch. And that kind of meant the world to them feeling appreciated and, knowing that even though they gave up their food, that they just, got this gift of food for themselves. And it was just something small for me. It was small, but for them, to do that for a complete stranger and not even hesitate, like, that was a big deal. So I think I think we could challenge ourselves to do at least one thing every day, and then let's see what happens with that.
Yeah, thanking someone can change their course for everything, and doesn't matter if you're an artist, a
Mhm.
podcaster, or a person on the street. Just thanking them for even holding the door and a
Yeah.
smile,
Yeah.
that can really help change someone's day. And be, when you think about it, when someone smiled or thanked you, you're like, oh, it kind of helps break through some of that, whatever's going on. If someone doesn't, is frustrated, just saying, hope you have a good day, or hope you're, it might help them, reflect on where they are.
Yeah. Even telling someone like, "Hey, you look nice today." You know? They might have
Exactly.
been trying to put an outfit together for like 4 hours or something, or maybe that's the only clean clothes they had, but they were like, "You know what? That's awesome. Someone said I looked good." And you made them feel good. So I mean, we could do so many things that are tiny, holding doors, like you said. Playing tabletop games, like that is so freaking cool. I feel like there's meaning in everything, and we could do so much if we just kind of thought about, what can we do? Maybe that's the first step, is thinking about what can you do with what you have in front of you, right?
Tr
Yeah.
Try to make the world a little bit better each day. What would you, so for me, what would I like in the situation? What can I make this better on? And challenging myself to do that, and keep pushing that envelope, and keep drawing that line. And, I've sometimes I forget to look down about how far the line's been,
Yeah.
and how much I do. And, someone asked me once, what would you tell your old person, your old self, or your new self, old self tell, look at you now. And I said, my old self would be terrified of what I did.
Mm.
Oh my gosh, you've done so much. And so what would your old self, your new self, tell your old self? And I would just say, just hold on for the ride.
Mhm.
I wouldn't change one thing,
Yeah.
because I know I'm right here now. What I've done, I would not want to lose those people and those experiences. By changing one thing, it could drastically alter all the course, and who knows?
Yes. In a similar way, if I had, the old self talk to the new self. Wait. No, yeah. Old self talking to the new self, I think that the response would be welcome back. You know, I was always like this. And then at one point, I don't know what happened. Somebody stole my light or something. You know, I had to figure that out for a number of years. And then eventually it started coming back slowly. And I was like, oh, yeah, I used to be really freaking like, selfless and awesome and funny and happy. And, I've worked on it and I'm getting back there. So yeah, I would just say welcome back. Well, thanks so much again for being here, Jonathan. Nicholas. Where did I get Jonathan from? Oh my God. That's embarrassing. Goodness. I don't know. Now your name is Jonathan. JPR. JPL. Sorry, Nicholas. Wow. I apologize.
It's okay.
Wow.
It's okay.
I need a nap.
It's been a long day for many.
It's been a long day. Thanks so much for joining us on Humanity 2.0 podcast. And for those of you watching or listening, be good to other humans and be sure to find Nicholas online and support him and support his cause that he volunteers with. Let's make the world a better place and have the best day of your lives. Take care. Humanity 2.0 podcast is brought to you by Vanessa The Vivacious Productions. Want to be a guest? Visit the link in the episode description for future guest opportunities. Ready to podcast like a boss? Join PodMatch and begin your PodMatch journey via the link also listed in the description. Subscribe to Humanity 2.0 podcast on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Follow and help support the show by buying Humanity a cup of coffee via buymeacupofcoffee.com/Humanity 2.0 podcast. Above all, don't forget to be good to other humans. See you guys next time.